a few hours, that's why. So
Yeah, I mean, like, it's if you wanted to like call tomorrow to focus on Parsons, or if you just wanted to talk about Pratt today, like that's fine, whatever you're up for.
it's okay. I want to like at least go over to prep because
Yeah,
I just don't know because like the website says that they'll still accept applications after the due date, but I don't
right.
really know. So I'm kind of worried about that.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, so I mean, how about we can go over the current portfolio that you have, go over any
mhm.
questions, and we can go from there.
Yeah. hmm
Sweet.
I can share the Google Drive with you for
Sure, for
it.
sure.
So. I actually
So,
wanted to.
mhm.
What? Oh no, you go first.
So like, what major were you applying for again?
Graphic design,
Graphic
but the
design.
2-year program. So
Okay,
because I wanted to go to Manhattan more than anything, so
right.
that's why.
Got it.
I was actually gonna ask, like,
Hmm.
just like a quick question. So, like, for Parsons, right? So you take communication design, right?
Yes. I came in
So,
first as fashion, then I switched to communication.
okay. So can I ask, like, so how are the classes like for that
For
exactly?
communication design?
And like
Okay,
everything.
for sure. So like when you go into Parsons, freshman year, well, I'm part of like the BFA 4-year degree, not a 2-year. So first year, everybody in the BFA program, so photography, fashion design, we all take the same core foundational classes. And this ranges from like sculpting to photography to like video editing, stuff like that. And you don't even get to touch things based on your major until your second year when you're a sophomore. Sophomore year for communication design, it's like a pretty much a foundational graphic design one-on-one 101 year, and so you get to learn things about typography, and you get to design posters and books. You can also do things like designing a stamp collection and stuff like that. And in addition to graphic design, you also are required to take a coding class
Oh,
for like have you heard of HTML or CSS?
yeah.
That's the stuff like you get to build more of like the really like high level interface of a computer. So this is the stuff that gives you the really structural content of a website. So you like take graphic design classes and also a coding class. And then your spring semester, you continue to do more graphic design courses, but with a heavier emphasis on coding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then
cool.
right. So like your sophomore year is you starting to have that foundational course for graphic design. And then in your third year, that's when you really go into deeper into these pathways. So there are 3 or 4 pathways, I believe. So in communication design, there's like typography design, there's motion graphic design, there's UX, which that's my pathway. And then there's like one more pathway branding. So that's like more magazines and printmaking type of stuff. So you get to start off with the foundation, then go further into detail with your chosen pathway.
Oh, okay. That sounds like really cool, honestly. I always loved like just graphic design in general, especially like with technology and just like motion graphics and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
for
really
sure. And like if you can't say if you're interested in like graphic design, but you also want to do some motion graphic stuff, you can also definitely take electives. Like I
oh,
took an elective for motion graphics last spring as a sophomore, and that was really fun. So you can do that too.
that sounds so cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know about the electives part, so thank you for answering that.
Yeah, of
But
course.
so I sent you the drive. Should be in your emails if you get it. So
Okay, let's
it's
see.
gonna be my school email. So if
No,
it's
no
like
worries.
that's why. Before I like go into the portfolio, I'm not really much of a artist, if that makes sense, with drawing and stuff.
Yeah.
I am more of just a graphic design, motion graphics type of person.
Okay.
So I try my best with these and stuff. So and also because
Mm,
since we're in the whole pandemic, I wasn't really able to like go out and get supplies or try more
right.
stuff or experiments. So
Mm,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's also something you can touch upon slightly in your application, just being like, even commenting on how coronavirus could have affected like your whole thinking process or process with making the application. That might be a good thing to point out. Um, Would you actually want to share your screen and then you can walk me through your portfolio? How
Yeah.
does that sound? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go. Okay.
Cool.
So can you see everything?
Yep.
Okay. It's a lot. So, okay, I'm gonna just start from the first one and then down. These first two parts here though, these are the ones I'm most hesitant about because I feel like I couldn't really get my message across strong enough, if that makes sense. So, first point of this one, it's called imperfections, and basically I was gonna base it off of myself and how I was gonna like talk about my imperfections and stuff. Like in the first picture, it's an arm if you can tell, and basically there's scars on it because like I think seventh grade I got attacked by a dog.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have scars on my arm because of it, and I like always like hated it. I even had planned to like try to cover it at one point, like growing up or whatever, but eventually I accepted it. But yeah, that was that part. And then I also have a lot of like marks on my legs and stuff because of personal reasons and stuff. So, and I was gonna add one more part to it, but it wasn't working out for me. It was just gonna be like acne and stuff, but I couldn't really put it to work in Photoshop, so I was having troubles with that. But the other part there is basically I'm really short. I'm below average size. I'm legitimately 4'10" in person. So,
We call it fun size. It's fun
yeah.
size.
So growing up, it was hard. It was really hard because, all people were so tall. It was like in middle school, people were already like 5'3" and stuff. And I was still like 4'8" and stuff. So it was like really hard. So I was going to like just basically the whole imperfections idea. So
Got it.
yeah, that was this part. So the next part is so this one is called Look Down On, and the story behind this one is going back to like my height. So like said, growing up, because I was so tiny compared to many people, I would always get bullied. I would always get like just made fun of and stuff, and it always discouraged me with myself and my confidence a lot. So in this picture, I try to draw like a little person, which is me, and then I try to draw like bigger people to show like these are the people that I'm looking up to, like just people around me because everyone's legitimately taller than me, like every single person. So I try to like show it as like the type of thing where it's like, oh, like I'm tiny and like these people around me feel like giants, especially when they're like making fun of me and stuff. And so and like if you can tell in the picture, they're like looking down at the little person because that's how it is. Like just I always get looked down on, and it was just always the type of thing where it's like I could go anywhere, like into like a store or something, or just in school, and there would all these tall people, and they would look at me, and then they would laugh. They would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're so tiny," and I'm
I
like,
understand where you're coming from, for sure.
"Yeah." And the words on the bottom were actually like names that I was called growing up, and I put them like on the ground to show like these are just like in a way to show like these are the words that I've just grown up on, and I've always like dealt with the entirety of my life. So.
Got it.
So the next piece here is called My Body Is Not a Free for All. So this is a more deeper side of me. So once again, growing up, I'm sorry if this topic is like weird to talk about or anything,
No,
but
it's okay. No judgment.
so like I said, growing up, my body has always, like almost any other type of female can experience, just being sexualized. And in this piece, I try to have the girl, and then if you can tell, like if it's able to, like if you can tell, like it's hands on the body, and those are like the hands that have like people like of the people that have like touched me in places that I didn't want and stuff. So, and the reason why it's called My Body is not a free for all is because it's like no, like you're not allowed to touch me, like I'm not giving you consent and stuff. So yeah, and that's also why free is like crossed out because again, it's not a free for all. So yeah, that was the point of this one. So this one is actually a motion graphics piece that I made recently, and this one is actually based off of my college portfolio experience because it's called Intrusive Thoughts, and the reason behind it is like, oh, like I had all these thoughts in my head, like, oh, you're not gonna get accepted, you're not gonna do well, like blah blah blah, this and that. So do you want me to like play it for you?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Okay, so I hope it's not gonna be too loud or anything. So yeah.
After Effects?
Yeah, these
Nice.
are all After Effects for like my videos and stuff, so yeah.
This is cute.
Is it? Yeah. So as you can like, if you could put it together, like the white was like all like the positive things and the black was like all like the dark things, you know. So I try to make it seem like that, which is why like the black parts had like all the negative words and the white parts had all the positive words, you know.
You know what would be even cooler? If like so the thing with color, I definitely get what you're doing, like white is positive and black could be negative, but it's I would love to see you like push that a little bit further. For example, like with colors, maybe like black and white are very, you know, basic colors that everybody is used to seeing. So it's like for you to push that message a little bit more of like to show that the black is supposed to be negative or the white is supposed to be, you know, whatever, you can use other elements to make that a little bit more apparent. First thing I thought of was maybe using typography could help. Like the very negative things you could be saying, that could be like a really, do you know what serif fonts are? Yeah, the one with the really sharp tails. So what if like the negative thoughts were like very sharp, like there was like a very sharp serif font, and then the positive thoughts could be like very soft and be sans serif. That was a small thought I had. Yeah,
it's a good idea. It makes sense. Well, it's all about advice and stuff. So this next piece, so it's called Violet, and basically it's a girl and another girl, one's red and one's blue, and together they make violet and purple. There isn't really that much to go in between, like behind this, solely because I was mostly inspired by Colors by Halsey, like a part of her song, and everything else. And I kind of just wanted to make a piece here, which just like about like love and how like two, like one and two, like together can just like make one. So if like you can, if it makes sense, so it's like the red and the blue and they like conjoin and it makes like purple. So like, you know, like does that make sense?
No, I definitely get what you mean. So are is this kind of like for love is love sort of message that you're trying to get at? Okay, yeah. I think it's definitely like a good message to, you know, want to promote, and like I definitely see what you're trying to say. I think what if you try to think more about different ways to show love instead of, you know, two female figures trying to hold hands. I think if you can like try to think a little bit more about what are the different ways that I can show two women. Can it be what are some different aspects of that? Like I think of hair, I think of clothing, I think of maybe makeup even. So something that is a little bit more abstract. Or if you try something like I mentioned this in my videos, like the mind mapping technique, where you keep thinking about this first idea, like, yeah, when I think about maybe like two girls like wanting to be together, they would hold hands. But going deeper into that, okay, they're holding hands, maybe you think of like nail polish, maybe they could be sharing nail polish. So the more you think about this or that original idea, and the more thought you put into that, you can give you more avenues of more nuanced situations that you can then create art from. And that might be a little bit of more interest to the viewer.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you know, a small point. These figures, I would usually see these figures on like, you know, like bathroom stalls or something, right? And I don't know if that was like your intention, but also continually try to be more considerate about where you're getting these materials from and what connotations they're associated with. Because I would, see these female figures that I would usually see on like bathroom stalls, and maybe you could even do a play on that, like bathroom segregation, or maybe they, going back to a few pieces ago, where there was like a lot of hands on someone's body, and maybe you could say something like, a lot of these cases occur within a bathroom, and that's why you use this particular type of figure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so trying to like be a little more intentional about, I guess, the different avenues you can go to represent these pieces.
Okay.
But this is a really good start. It's a good job.
Thank you. So, this next piece. Okay, so this one, like it's like, where do I start explaining it? So, um, growing up, like I said again, I've always felt like shut out from people, mostly because like it's you always go to support, you always like try to like look for support to like get help on any problems you have. And so with me, I would always go to family or friends, but I would end up, or even like teachers, but I would end up getting shut out because like, oh, like your problems are important, like you're not that special, like just deal with it, et cetera, et cetera. Which is why there's like the photographs on the walls that says those. And the faces on the door is basically to represent all the people that I've come across and were like, I would try to ask for help and advice on something, but it would ignore me. And the person on the ground is supposed to represent me. And the boulders in the front are obviously like the problems that I've had dealt with. And then the vines that connect to it, that are like around me and stuff, are to show that I've always just felt like helpless, and I couldn't find a way out or anything. I would always just be stuck in one place. So yeah, that's
Yeah. No, this is good. This is good. I think, when you are thinking about all the things that might be weighing you down, like stress and trauma and depression, like I want the recruit or the admissions people to see and really get your message, right? So I definitely get like why you would write these things in this way, but it's also, if you can show stress instead of just saying stress on the actual art piece, it might like be a little bit, you might have like more opportunity to play with how you show stress instead of just saying this is stress, this is depression, this is anxiety. Like you want when you're creating pieces, in a way you almost want the viewer to think like, what puzzle piece is this that I can all put together from different parts of the artwork to make one big puzzle piece, to see the whole entire picture. Because I think if you just write these things blatantly, it doesn't give as much like it might let the administrator people know that you can like do a lot more with this one. Also, like with boulders, I didn't really get at first that they were boulders, but I also think like you using boulders could be a really good idea, because boulders are like rocks, they carry weight, they carry pressure. Maybe you were pressured by all these people and you can do something with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like just to go further into that, maybe you have like all these boulders that represent all these things and they're on top of the person, or maybe the person in the middle could be in the middle, and then all these vines and all these boulders are hanging beneath them, trying to pull them down, and that could be a little bit more metaphorical.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. I try my best with this one. So, and like I said, I'm not really an artsy type of person. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like with practice, you get better with these things, but you go back and forth and you keep improving, and that's how you go. Okay. Let's keep going.
Thanks. This one, it's kind of similar to the shutout one, but it's a little bit different. So it's called Alone in a Room Full of People. And basically, I have met many people in my life. I've had so many friends and stuff, but they've always just kind of blocked me out, as in like existence wise. Like they just always ignored me. And like whenever I try to talk, like they would just be like, oh, like they would just ignore me and stuff. So the reason is like the person in the middle is supposed to represent me, and the people behind are people that I know but have made me feel left out and stuff. So, and the words on the bodies are to show like, oh, like who are you? Like, do I know you? Like, are you talking and stuff? Because they ignore me. And the people on the pictures frames in the back are the same thing, just more people that I know and stuff. So and the person in the middle, like the reason why their eyes are blocked out is because since I've just always been ignored so many people, I end up feeling like my existence isn't there, like I just don't feel like I'm me. I don't feel like I'm there at all. I just feel like I'm some type of ghost or something watching them.
Right.
So yeah, if that makes sense. And like obviously like the X's on their faces, it was to show like that they were people I just didn't really feel connected to in a way. So yeah, that's the reason behind this one.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I think it's like with looking at your entire portfolio so far, like I love the messages that you're trying to portray. Like they're very personal and intimate, and like I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when people look at these pieces, I want them to truly be moved by what you're trying to say. And I see that you're starting to get a grasp of that, and that's a really good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like what can make these even better is I'm just so curious to see to know the details about each story that you are trying to convey. For example, for this one, you're talking about these are the people that have ignored you or have done something bad to you. I wonder, why are they in picture frames? I wonder, who are these people? Are they family members? Are they friends? How can I tell the difference between both? How can I tell the difference between the way that you portray these characters? Are they supposed to be like these representation of people? Does that represent like a more general audience? Or if they are specifically people that you recall in your life, maybe that should also reflect in how you draw them in your piece.
Okay.
So overall, it's like trying to be, I think, being a little bit more specific in what was there a specific situation or incident where you were ignored by these people, and then portraying that might make it a little bit more intimate and make that message stand out a little bit better to the viewer.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. I tried my best to just try and get as many symbols in there in a way, if that makes sense. So I
Yeah,
try my
definitely. And it's like I think like if you push that symbolism a little more, you can like really knock this out of the water for sure. Yeah, like
okay.
trying to think about why X's, why red, why is it all gray? Maybe can you show a specific place that this has happened? I think that would be like really cool too.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Next piece. So the next three pieces are just motion graphic stuff basically. So this one was my last motion graphics piece in my animation class. I'm an animation student. I go to performing arts school, so yeah. This one I try to experiment with more like effects and stuff in a way, so and more typography. So yeah.
So pretty hurts, just need a little more sweet baby. Yeah, running after you, trying to find the words to make you stay around, please stay. A cool kid can make me okay, to make me hurt no more, no more.
That was
So
nice. That was really
yeah,
good.
thank you. I'm just kind of worried that if I don't know if they just won't accept stuff like this, so I'm just worried about that. So.
So it's like this aspect of having technical capabilities, but also having this aspect of storytelling go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that throughout your other pieces, you do have potential for both, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like, don't think of technical skills and also conceptual ideas as separate, but they work together to complement each other. right? So I think like for your motion graphic skills, like they're obviously at like a pretty good level at your age, and I would love for that message that you are trying to portray in your other graphic design pieces to be shown through your motion graphics pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think like that would be really cool.
That makes sense. Can
Because
you like?
so
No,
so like for this piece, it was like titled "You're So Pretty" or something. Like, what was the message behind this? Because right now it kind of almost seems like a lyric music video, but it's like, how is it tied to your voice as an artist? How is it tied to almost your beliefs as a creator? So I think like if you can take these awesome technical skills that you have for motion graphics, as you clearly showed in this one, but tie it with the conceptual thinking as you were starting to do with your other graphic design pieces, you're going to go so much further. But this is like a really good start.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like that's the main reason why I've been worried, because some of these don't really have stories behind them, except for mostly the intrusive thoughts one. So that's why I was like mostly worried. But
yeah, but before you click on this one, so it's like to kind of reiterate on what I said like a few minutes ago, if you try to maybe dive deeper into the specific stories that are surrounding those themes, it might help you with that storytelling aspect.
okay.
Because if you reflect on, because it's like if you reflect on, say, something that happened to you last week and you're telling it to me as a friend, you naturally start framing it as a story. So when you try to recall that story, but in a graphic design piece, that might also help you further show that storytelling aspect, but through visual art. So being a little bit more specific, I think, would help a lot.
Okay, I see. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So this one's called Bit of You. This was so for our animation department, we have 2 film showcases every year, and the second one, which is our spring, so in the winter one, like everyone's films get in, but in the spring one people vote, because it's obviously all the departments together, and because it's also film department as well. So we all usually have to vote for which ones we want the most, and this film of mine got in for the spring showcase. So it's called Bit of You.
Why are you using squares?
Oh, I was mostly using them because I wanted to experiment with more different shapes and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, in the future, like when you do think about certain shapes or characters, like think a little bit more about how does it tie into the greater theme that you're trying to say. That's good.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Oh, and like I also try to experiment with more like boxes and stuff. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's one.
I think you have like really good technical skills for motion graphics. So if you go through that pathway in Parsons, like I think that'd be like pretty awesome.
Yeah, I actually have been editing on like so many different programs since like I'm gonna say like 6th grade. So yeah, I went from like the Windows Movie Maker, and then I went on to like Sony Vegas, and then after that like After Effects. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I think so it's like you have like all these technical skills, and I think this shows like really this is a strong evidence to show like how far you are technically, but then like trying to sew in more of that storytelling aspect of who you are as a creator would make it an even better piece. So I mean, so far, good job.
Thank you. So the last piece that I have, this is just like the same thing. This one is called Garden. This was also from my Bit of You, and this one was from my sophomore year, and Pretty Please was from my junior year. So this one's Garden. This was my first motion graphics piece in a way. So I tried my best to like match it with like beats and stuff because there's a lot of beats in this song. So I tried to just match it up. And Garden, I used flowers for it, obviously. So yeah.
Like how you said flowers for garden is obvious. So yeah, like try to think about the source material and how you can bring that metaphors into the visual aspects.
Makes sense, yeah. And that's it.
How many pieces was this? Like in total?
10.
10.
10. So. So if you want to just like go ahead and just give me criticism, like advice and stuff, so I'm all ears.
I think, you know, like when I was first starting this whole portfolio thing, you're lucky because you got to play with all these things in 6th grade, right? I did not start till I was in grade 11.
Oh, really?
I mean, I took like generic art classes, but actually like trying to get into portfolio, I did not start till grade 11. And it's like, it's nice that, you know, you try a lot of different mediums and try your hand in graphic design. But I think the biggest thing I would love to see, and I think would really help you as an artist or a designer, is trying to design and create things with a little bit more intention. Like what I mean, so designing with intention and being more specific in the types of materials, the types of colors, the types of symbolisms that you are trying to use in your pieces. For example, in the imperfection, the first piece, if you want to click on that, like if I'm someone from Pratt or if I'm someone from Parsons, I want to look at this piece and almost say, I want to know that this is your work, that probably nobody else in this whole entire applicant pool that can copy the work that you've just done because it's so unique to yourself. And this, you know, people say like, oh, if you're an artist, you should try to be original, right? Yeah. So it's this aspect of originality. And I think being intentional was really going to help with that. Like why 3 parts of your body? Why, what about height says something about larger society even? Trying to connect things to even the world around you or a reflection of your environment could give more of like a powerful message to show to the admissions people.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you are doing something like graphic design and you're doing more, you know, like I'm guessing these are vector illustrations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should try to pay more attention to the detailing of everything if you are trying to do a piece like this. Because although like concepts, so if you had to choose concepts, it's indefinitely more important than the technical skills. But in a way, if your concept and your message is so complicated or really complex, it would make sense that you would also want your technical abilities to reflect that, to show more in depth and in detail about how in depth your message is. So I think like even, you know, like why this color palette, why the red background, why why is it so significant about imperfections? Like, does imperfection say something larger about our entire society? Does imperfection say something about the changing beauty standards of today? So in a way, it's like you're trying to have this aspect of storytelling be very personal, but also reflective of the world around us. You know, like for example, for Parsons, like they're very big on social impact and trying to impact the world in a more positive way. So even if you can take that sort of mindset of how can I impact things that are beyond me into a portfolio piece, that would, you know, talk a little bit more on the same level with the school's mission statements.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like trying to be a little bit more specific and maybe like if there was a specific moment that these happened, like you say you were scratched by a dog, right? Maybe the dog somewhere like in the background, like scratching at you, or like there's some sort of dog motif as like a background illustration.
Okay.
Might give more, idea to the storytelling.
Mm-hmm. So, well, what about the other ones? If you have anything else to say.
Yeah, so it's like the comments I just made about the first piece, it applies to I think if you apply to everything else, it would help with admissions and help you think better as a designer. You want to design with a greater purpose or a greater message in mind. So it's like why, like who are these people in looked down on? Like, are these specific people from your family? Are they just general people you find on social media? Because even how you portray these people can reflect in how you show them visually. For example, if you are being looked down on and you are being, say, bullied by a lot of people on social media, maybe they can look like social media icons or maybe like profile pictures you see on TikTok or Instagram or something. Versus if they were people from your family, you can draw them out as maybe you're at a dinner table, maybe you are, it's like a normal family thing to do. Yeah, like maybe like you're all eating together or something, yet you are being ridiculed by these people. So it's like trying to be more specific in like who these people are might help bring out that more unique story to your pieces.
Okay.
So what I would do is for all of these, if you can maybe like write down like a specific incident that reflects the main message. For example, like looked down upon. Was there like a specific place when you were at school and someone looked down upon you? Maybe you're in class and you can show in a way classroom and someone, I don't know, writes a nasty note or something. You could somehow show that visually. Yeah, so because right now it's like I get where you're coming from because you explained it to me, but I also want them to see where you're coming from without you having to explain it.
Okay, yeah. I was having troubles with that. For this piece here, I had asked so many people of my friends about it, and they all kind of had like issues like understanding it and stuff. I mean, some understood it, but others were like kind of like about it. So, and it kind of like I was like, oh, I have to like work my hardest on this piece because I want everyone to be able to understand it and stuff. So, yeah. I don't even know. Like, the main reason as to why I'm having troubles with mostly of this portfolio is because like, I had actually learned about Pratt over the summer, while doing tons and tons of college research, but I didn't get to work on my portfolio until like beginning of December, solely because in the beginning of the year, my animation teacher told me that he would help me with my portfolio and that he would help me like he would give me personal projects to replace in-class projects for my portfolio, but he never really ended up doing that until like the second week.
It happens.
So that entire time I was just waiting on him to help me with my portfolio, so I never started on it, and I got really upset, and I like ended up
life lesson, girl. Like,
yeah.
Okay, as good as it is to ask for help from other people, you never really want to solely depend on somebody. This is where self-initiative kicks in. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt so discouraged, especially this week because the application deadline was coming up for Pratt. So I was like stressing out and I was like, oh Lord, like I don't think any of these are gonna be good enough to like get in and stuff. So I was just kind of worried about that. So I'm thankful that you're here helping me and like giving me advice and stuff. So, but yeah, It's just
So
been really stressful.
yes. So are you a senior?
I'm a senior, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like since you already have pieces, try out. Why not, right? You already like have a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like, going forward, if you can be more specific and be more intentional about why these colors, why exactly this figurine? Like this is a figurine you would probably see when you're going to the bathroom, right? Like men, women. But it's like I'm sure that's not really the symbol that you're trying to use. So like how can you maybe use other symbols or draw something out for yourself that is more intentional? Like why did you use this? Why these colors? Why this composition? Maybe look into the history of, say, other graphic designers and how they've tried to structure their graphic design pieces. Why is it vertical? Why is it horizontal? If it's horizontal, maybe you're trying to show a sunset and that's more of like this trying to show more of like a horizontal angle, like trying to think more intentionally about every single piece or every single aspect within each piece. And that could help you with your storytelling aspect as well.
Okay, I see. I am going to definitely work on these for Parsons and the other schools that I'm going to be applying for that are also going to be due in the 15th. So I was just mostly worried about Pratt as of right now because like I have these in the slide room, but I obviously didn't submit it because I was like, oh, I don't know like if I have to like go back and make corrections or not. So I don't know. I like also try to email them like the admissions about the portfolio part and also about the deadline and stuff because like I said, I looked deep within that website and like it kept saying like, yeah, like we do accept applications on a rolling daily basis. So I was always like, okay, maybe like
I mean, they will, but it's always better to do it for a
yeah.
priority deadline, Yeah.
I wasn't gonna like plan to have it like like a month or two later. Like I was definitely gonna like just give myself the rest of this week to work on it and then turn it in or whatever. But I don't know if that's what I should do or if I should just turn it what I have or.
I think if I were you, I would submit this as is for
All of
Pratt.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
One note I would say though is Pratt uses slide room too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So I would also consider rearranging them a little bit differently. Like have your second strongest piece first and have your absolute strongest piece last.
Okay.
I think like visually your motion graphic pieces are really nice. They're like the strongest of the sponge. So yeah, like I see like you have a lot of your motion graphic pieces bunched together at the end, but if you can like kind of spread them out, it might like help the admissions officer to like, oh, here's a really good piece, here's like average, then here's really good, then end off with their strongest piece. That might be best.
Okay. Should I like put because honestly, I think my most strongest one out of all of these is solely because of the meaning and story behind it is intrusive thoughts. Like should I put that like second or third in like the line or like somewhere else?
That's your strongest piece?
Well, not like strongest, but just like story-wise because it has more of a story compared to the other ones. So, but like I don't know. I'm asking for your opinion anyway.
Okay, how about you do intrusive thoughts? I'll put intrusive thoughts last. Can you scroll down a little bit? The last motion graphics piece.
It's like piece of the same one. So
yeah, put copy of Pretty Please first, and then like the other three, like bit of you, garden, somewhere in the middle.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then intrusive thoughts last.
Yeah, I think that's your best one.
Okay.
So second best first, the absolute best last. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And also, like after you submit this for Pratt today, honestly, like it's not really worth stressing over like getting into Pratt because you also are trying to apply for Parsons too,
Yeah.
So it's better just to submit this as is. It's not worth stressing over. So while Pratt's out of the way after today, maybe like revisit some of these pieces in Illustrator or Photoshop and try to like tweak it a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah, like for imperfection, like maybe you can just draw like the entire body as one. or have
Okay.
like the dog motif somewhere in there. You know, it'd be really cute if for the underwear, if you had like a dog printed on it. That'd be really cute.
Oh, that's actually a cute idea. Yeah, I'll probably try. Yeah. Um, but I was gonna say something, but then I forgot. Like, do you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know anyone that goes like? Do any of your friends go to Pratt or anything? Or
So I came from Canada, and no one applied to an American high school,
oh,
American college. I mean.
hmm, okay. Well, and I was just gonna ask like some questions about Pratt, like the experience itself, because I know like you're fully like Parsons. So,
Yeah.
but okay, makes sense. I'm definitely gonna work on these afterwards. I'm probably gonna just take the rest of the day today, just calm down after I submit these, because I actually was up till like 4 a.m. working on these
Honestly,
last night.
like
So
it's not worth it. You already have most of these things done. Only rearrange it, work on your description a little bit, and submit it.
okay, all
It's
right.
I'm telling you, it's not worth to like stress over it for like days after when the priority deadline's done. So
Okay,
this
all
is fine.
right. After I work on these, are you able to? Are you free to meet next week after I like work on these, or no? Either way, if you don't want
Yeah,
to
I
today.
could just like message me and then we can figure something out.
Okay, all right. Well,
Do you have any questions? Like feel free to email me by the way if you have other questions.
I don't really think I have any other questions because I've actually been watching all your videos on Parsons, and honestly, I just want to say to you like thank you. Like a huge thank you,
Aww.
because no joke, like I remember over the summer when I was looking into colleges and stuff, I was looking deep for videos on colleges and like the experience or like portfolios, and like no one really went over Parsons that much. So when I saw like your vlogs and stuff, I was like, oh my god, like this gives me more an idea of the school, especially because since COVID happened, there wasn't any like virtual tours like inside, like in person. So I just never could see how the school was like. So honestly, thank you for all your videos and stuff. They actually really been helping me. So yeah.
That's literally the only reason why I make them, because it's like if I was a freshman, I would have loved if someone did this too. So that's why I
Yeah,
made them.
honestly, because before I had even like watched your videos, I for my portfolio, I did plan to put my motion graphics pieces in, but I also had planned to put in like event posters and stuff, and I was just like, okay, like I think this event poster is really nice, like graphic design and stuff, typography. But then after you were like, don't do like ads and stuff, I was like, okay,
I
thank you,
mean,
because
like
honestly,
I mean, like you can try putting them in anyway, just because like you have space. Like since you have 10 pieces, if the limit is 12, like I mean, put the 2 in anyway. It's not really gonna hurt you,
okay, yeah.
If you think they look nice, I mean, I'll believe you. I'll take your word for that.
Yeah,
But it's just more of this aspect of like, can you design with intention and thought? That's
yeah.
what I was trying to get at. Because like when people design for ads, it's more for like this one-time event, but there's no bigger message to it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of posters like that, because it's like, oh, like, yeah, it's like they just do it for the ad, but they just don't, yeah, like they just don't have a meaning behind it or anything, or any of the pieces in the thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, I totally got what you mean. So
for
yeah.
sure.
Um, I think honestly, I think that's it for questions, because like said, like your video on portfolio advice and like Parsons itself really did help me a lot, give me more of an idea of it. So yeah.
Well,
um
thank you.
Actually, I think I have one question though.
Yeah.
You said that it's most likely better to live like in somewhere else in New York than like dorms. So like, how are dorms anyways?
Okay, so I've only lived at Stye. So like there are, I believe, 4 main dorms. There is Stye, there is Cary, there is Loeb, and I think there's 13th Street or something. So Cary is like the best dorm out of all 4 of those, because it's right next to the UC, literally 1 minute walk away from all the buildings. It's great, but it's also the most expensive. Like per month, it costs like I think 1,600, something like that, or 2,300. I forgot, but it's very expensive. Stye is where most of the freshmen go. Like I was in Stye my freshman year, and it was absolutely horrible. Like I hated it. You know, at first I went because like, oh my god, like social life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I found like almost no difference between being in the dorms and being not in the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
There's rats, there's cockroaches. You're crammed with like 2 other girls. I was in a triple, which was actually the
Oh.
best.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if I had to do it over again, I would have not. If I had the choice, I would have not stayed at the dorms. It's so expensive. It's not worth it.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah, because I live in New Jersey, and that's actually the main reasons why I'm looking into Parsons and Pratt, because it's in New York. It's not too far, and my dream actually after college is to move to New York because I love the cities. I love cities with a burning passion. So, but I was also debating like my first year of college, like or like at least after like COVID is over and stuff, that I can like move to New York and like get an apartment there while I like go to college. But I just didn't know if like it was a good idea or not because I didn't know if like dorms were just more expensive or it wasn't worth it, like you said and stuff. So
I mean, like it personally, it wasn't worth it to me. I wouldn't be surprised if other people said it was worth it to them because it does, I guess, make it easier to meet friends. But it wasn't. That wasn't the case for myself. So I mean, like uh, you can try like dorming for a semester, see how it goes.
oh, you can do that?
Yeah, I know people who, or I do know that maybe you can like just move in for spring semester or only move in for fall semester, then like move out after fall semester. But I
Oh,
feel like if I were in your shoes, because I personally did not like the dorms, I would just commute. Like I have a friend, she also lives in New Jersey. Every day she commutes an hour and a half to go to school.
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that honestly because I was just like, ooh, dorms and stuff. So, but I'll probably look into that more after. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. But I think that's it. Um, huge thank you for everything and helping me and stuff. This definitely gave me a better idea on my portfolio because, like said, I didn't really have any other type of help. Like my animation teacher doesn't really help me with my portfolio, and we actually
Self-initiative.
yeah, I actually hate myself a bit for wasting time waiting on him, but it's whatever. We actually there's actually 2 animation teachers, but one of them this year went to a different school for a better job and stuff. So, and he was the one who knew me more and talked to me more and, helped me with my motion graphics piece a lot. So, but he went to a different school, so I couldn't really contact him anymore. So it was like really hard for me, but honestly, like you here helping me has really helped a lot, like a
Yeah,
lot.
of course. I mean, if you have, do you have other maybe video things you'd like to see? Because to be honest, I'm actually on gap year right now, so I'm not at
Oh,
Parsons. Yeah.
oh, really?
COVID.
Oh,
COVID.
yeah. So, yeah. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know because just all your videos have just helped so much, to be honest. Just yeah, probably just like you had planned to, right? Like reviewing like other people's portfolios, right? So yeah, but that's pretty much it all I can think of. So yeah, but other than that,
Well,
thank you again for everything. So
yeah, my
yeah.
pleasure. Have other questions, or if you quickly want to go over the other pieces, like the ads thing that you mentioned, like feel free
Mhm.
to send me an email and let me know.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, have a good night.
Okay, just like rearrange the things, like go to sleep. It's you got this.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you,
All
honestly.
right. Talk to you later.
Bye.